I am Ken Danjanovich, your host of this edition of Sportsman's News Television. I'm in northern Alberta, Canada with Kelly Udells Guiding and Outfitting. I'm joined by fellow pro staffer Dave Heath as he tries to put the hammer down on his first Canadian black bear. You know, this part of Alberta is well known for its big populations of black bears, as you can tell by the 2-bear limit here, which is a great offering that they have here in Canada compared to the lower 48. We'll be hunting out of tree stands, ground blinds, and you never know, maybe even a little bit of spot and stalk. So what do you say we grab our equipment and head out to the blind for our first day here with Udells Guiding and Outfitting.
We're using bait. He said their old standby for bait is dog food and some frying grease. They also use pie fillings, cake frosting, things like that to attract these bears. And they've been saying there's been a lot of bears in the area. The hunters last week both killed 2 bears. This is a 2-bear area. We'll be hunting out of the tree stands here over bait for the week.
Well, it's our first night on the stand. We're here by a little pond, and we just drove in about 20 minutes ago on the all-terrain vehicle, and we actually scared a bear off of this bait. Ben, our guide, said that he had been seeing him in here quite early. This is our first night, so we're not didn't get in here till about 6:30 in the evening. It's a little bit later than we normally would, but about 15 minutes after Ben left us, we heard a crash behind us, and a pretty nice pure black bear was right behind us, scraping on a tree. He actually went up the tree, and we could hear him woofing over there, probably 50 yards away from us, but he never came our way. So maybe we'll get him back in here before the night's over. Well, it's day 1. We've seen a sow and 2 cubs. It's been kind of fun to watch her. A lot of bear sign, a lot of good activity. Just spotted a bear coming down the trail towards our bait. It looks like a pretty good boar, so we're going to sneak up here down the road and see if we can't put a stalk on him.
here with Ben, our master guide here at Udells Guiding and Outfitting. I just shot my first black bear, and I'm grateful to be here with Ben. He's a great guide. He's taken good care of us so far this week.
Glad having you in camp.
Where are we, Ben?
We're about an hour north of Slave Lake, a few hundred kilometers north of Edmonton.
Yeah, we were actually on our way to a stand where Ben had seen a sow in heat and a couple of nice boars chasing her. And we came down the road there, and Ben goes, "There's a bear right on the road." So we stopped, we got out, we made a stalk. We got within about 40 yards of this nice bruin and was able to get him on the ground today. We're here with Udells Guiding and Outfitting in northern Alberta, and couldn't be happier with my first black bear.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Ben. Appreciate you, man.
We loaded the bear in the back of the ATV. Ben's taking it back to camp to keep it, skin it. And now we're sitting in our stand here. It's another great area, really well wooded. They have about 12 baits out this week. They usually average about 3 or 4 baits per hunter they're going to have in camp. And all of these baits have been getting hit on a regular basis, so very late spring this year. This area had 3 or 4 feet of snow 3 weeks ago, so it melted really fast. It's pretty wet and boggy come into some areas, which is great in some ways because it keeps other hunters out. So we're hoping maybe to put the hammer down on another great Canadian black bear here this afternoon at Udells Guiding and Outfitting.
Second black bear of the day. There's another big mature boar. This one's got a nice white patch on his chest. He's just expiring right now. Nice big bear. We're having a lot of fun up here. There's bears everywhere. Had a ton of action. Alright, yeah. Nice big feet. He had this white spot on his chest. Yeah, we came up here in November to do a whitetail hunt, and it was cold for us, but they thought it was warm. But I shot a nice whitetail, a 9-point whitetail last year, and Ben and Kelly just kept telling us about how great the bear hunting is up here and how we need to come back, so we decided to come back, and boy, they weren't kidding.
This one's still a little young bear. He hasn't widened out in his skull yet. You can see this one's a couple inch or two wider than this one. Length's pretty close to the same, but this one's definitely got some age on the first bear you shot there.
There's kind of a difference in the teeth too, Kelly.
See how much teeth we've got there and like nothing there.
This one's starting to get worn down now, yeah.
Like nubs.
You can see little chips off his big canines here, a little more yellowed. Yeah, definitely an older bear. Both good bears, but your second one there's a little bit older.
Ben took us on a little walleye excursion. So, Ben, tell us what you got us cooking up here tonight.
Supper's going to consist of fresh walleye wrapped in bacon, and then we'll fry it up.
Well, Dave got his 2 bears down yesterday. One spot in stock and one out of a tree stand last night about 8 o'clock. So 2 great bears, both pushing well into the 300-pound range. The second one's going to be probably over 7 foot and with a 20-plus inch skull. So 2 great bears here in northern Alberta with Udells Guiding and Outfitting. As you can see today, I'm going to be on the gun. Dave's going to be behind the camera. We're going to be in a ground blind. So a lot of different options here at Udells. They can take care of any type of hunter, any type of situation that you may need.
And we're right about 67 yards here on our Grand Blind today with Udells. And this is a lot different area than we've been hunting in the last 2 days. Kind of a little open meadow with a bunch of game trails coming into it. And this bait, they've been putting this bait out on this particular one for about 3 weeks since the snow's been gone. No action yet tonight. We're in a tree stand again that we were at our very first night here. We saw a sow and 2 cubs, but nothing so far tonight. But the bait has been getting hit. So we put fresh bait out, and it's about 5:45. We've still got a full 4.5 hours of light. So hopefully tonight will be the night. Sow and cubs that came in on us the very first night. About an hour ago, we had a bear come in behind us to my right, and came in all by itself, went to the road, clicked its jaw 6 times, turned right back around, and basically went out the same way it came in. Looked like it was a pretty good sized bear, which this sow is, so it very well could have been that sow. The cubs were holding off behind it possibly, but she came right across this beaver dam here and is just standing over there in the clearing on the other side. So it's about 9 o'clock at night. Still got about an hour and 15 minutes. We'll be here in the stand, so you never know what might happen. Been having quite a bit of rain this evening, so sometimes that brings your scent down a little bit lower, unfortunately, but we'll see what happens. Not quite as big of a bear as we're looking for. Dave shot 2 great bears this week, so we're not taking a bear just to take one, but we want to make sure that it's not a sow too, especially the one with the 2 cubs, but I doubt she would have left them quite that far across that beaver pond, so we're going to let it go. That they've been baiting for about 12 to 15 years in this area, and so they know that there's quite a few bears coming to this particular bait. It's right on an old abandoned logging road, and so we've got some great visibility both ways. And as we were driving in here, there was a big bear on the bait. We jumped out, could have probably shot it right there, but we couldn't have got it on film, so we decided to hold off, and hopefully he'll be back. So men put out some fresh bait and see what we can do tonight here with the Udells guiding and outfitting. jumped the road, saw a black blob, and he cut in, and he came in here about 40 yards away from our tree stand. He could tell something was up. It was probably winding us. Our wind was blowing into his face. So I'm sure that he knew something was up. If he started to work, he probably would have still come into the bait. When he turned and gave us the shot on the road, we decided to take him. Looks like a pretty decent bear.
Well, as you can see, we've come to the end of our great 6-day hunt here with Udells Guiding and Outfitting in northern Alberta. Boy, great black bear experience here. Dave Heath was able to take 2 big black bears, both going to be close to Boone and Crockett scoring on our first full day of hunting. One with spot and stalk and the other one from a tree stand. I was able to take this great black bear on our 4th full day of hunting. It's about 6:40 in the evening, and boy, this one looks like he's going to be every bit as big as those 2 that Dave was able to take earlier in the week. You know, one thing about our Platinum Approved outfitters is you can make sure that when we endorse an outfitter, we have been there, we have partaken of what they have to offer, whether it's hunting or fishing, and we give our full endorsement to them because they deliver on what they advertise. Everything this week has been great with Kelly Udell and his head guide Ben. And boy, if you're looking for a great outdoor adventure here a little north of the border in Alberta, Canada, give Udells Guiding and Outfitting a call. And for my fellow pro staffer, Dave Heath, and myself, Kent Danjanovich, thank you for joining us on this edition of Sportsman's News Television.
Sportsman's News Television is sponsored by Barnes Bullets, unleaded, unfailing, and unbeatable. Vortex Optics, the force of optics. CVA muzzleloaders, it's just a better gun. And Sitka, turning clothing into gear.